start an audio recording here, and we're starting the video. Alright, we're at the edge of a cliff overhanging the river, and this dead tree kind of stands out over the edge where I'm up. There ain't enough leaves on the tree. I just have to thread the drone out of the forest, and I'll be in a key position basically above the nature of the work. Finally, I'll be able to go down there and mow lawns, turtle mode out of anybody's yard, back up again, whatever. Jet ski the rapids. Just gotta make it out of the forest because I'm standing above the river. Don't do this on the bridge. You get a ticket right away. Loitering on the bridge. So it's hard, and it has to be the time of the year where there ain't too many leaves, or you're able to get out near the edge like I was, up on a rock or a dead tree. Look at my drone shadow. I always love that part. The Vermilion River community. The Vermilion River. Many times before. Finally, there's commentary. We'll try this again. The last one I did with commentary didn't load. So now, since I'm finally above the work site, I can fly under the bridge. I can, like I said, I could crash in somebody's yard and just turtle mode out of there. I have absolute authority, remote connectivity authority right now. And here, I don't know if I brush up against the edge because it hits a return to home. I get down pretty low. I'm getting pretty far. The bridge is in between me and the actual RC, and I don't know. There's still a straight, kind of. I'm on the left-hand side shoreline there, so yeah, this big rounded thing is sticking out, and I lose my direct line of sight. So I found my boundary down low and far that way. I'm sure I could go another mile if I was, 400 feet up, but that's no fun. So now, at 2 to 4 feet above the water, I'm going to go explore my boundary downstream. Now, this was the ultimate thing, and I had to do it before the leaves popped, was to go through the woods, and launch the drone out and actually be above everything. And then I could be in the middle, which I'm here, going to fly both directions. And it just seems like a long flight, covering a lot of water. You're going a mile that way, and then back there's 2 miles, and then a mile this way and back, 2 more. And it just feels like you're covering a lot of water, a lot of distance. You're going low and far. Awesome. Just awesome. I need to get some filters on the camera. The motion blur is so digital, and there's a lot of image stabilization going on here. It's not a full gimbal camera. It's an FPV drone, so you have to forgive the footage. It's not the flying camera that the Neo is or the Mini 3. It really isn't. And that's not just the gimbal. It's a lot of things. But, like just the curved lens. At 200 feet up, the Earth is round. Which that's not true. The Earth is round at maybe 30,000 feet. So, but that FPV lens is very helpful when you're driving around corners and everything. So there's a reason. So here's the subject matter. And I'm positioned nicely above the subject matter. I can go down low and check out the nest. These two are sitting on eggs. He's the distraction, so I want to make him feel good, like he's doing a good job, and chase him. So there, he's leading me away from the nest. Ah, I forgot my mission plan. Yeah. So he gives me a hard time. He starts coming at me, so I can't chase him. You know, he makes it impossible. See, he figured me out. He just keeps coming at me, and I keep losing him. So it's time to inspect these eggs. I figured these two have to be sitting on eggs. The way they're protecting, um, I reached this nest from the opposite way before, and I wasn't able to come down this low and really inspect if there was two people on eggs. And he's barking at me. He's mouth wide open. Arr, arr, arr. And those were eggs. That was 4 eggs. They were light blue, white. And on to the next set of birds, I think. Um, yeah, this is a good fishing spot. I had to do this for my friend Manuel. He likes to fish the log jams. That is where they're at. The catfish are in the log jams. That's the food cache buffet. Okay? You see how it catches everything else? So it's a filter. It's a filtrating the food, and the fish are all in here. A bank line or two in this area would do nicely. All right, now let's find some more trouble. Enough with the fishing spot. And right away we're at a tiger hole, and boom, more trouble. I'm like, hey guys, and so they're not going to put on a show at all. They're like, get out of here, we're busy biting the water. I'm yelling, I'm barking at the water, I'm biting the water. Go on, get. I don't got time for this. We're going to ignore you. We're really mean. We're barking. We're biting the water. I'm like, okay. Yeah, that worked because it was no fun. I mean, I couldn't give chase or scare them, or I don't really want to scare them, but I like to fly with them, you know. When a bird is starting to get really freaked out, I just leave them alone. But from a bigger distance, it seems like they know who I am. And if I keep a bigger distance, they will fly with me and inspect me, just like I'm inspecting them. Yeah, after they know who you are, wouldn't even see the bird, and then he makes himself known. So you're like, why did he do that? You know? So there's a curiosity there. It's going both ways. And I figure if I don't emotionally abuse them, they'll be approachable in the future. Or so far it seems they are. Now these two over on the nest, I'd probably leave them alone. I hiked up there just to get a final thing on what is going on over there, and it's definitely going on, so I'll leave them alone. But once they're hatched, might go check it out again, But the stress, you want them to hatch, so, I'm sure it's illegal to look at them, but, that's what we do. That's why we have a drone. You're not allowed to have an eagle. You're not allowed to pick up an egg off the forest floor and take it home and hatch it. You'll go to prison. It's really stupid. So they can go blow it, You looked at the bird. You have no right. Yeah, the bird has no right to privacy in public, okay? But like I said, that was his house over there. And, it's up to us to police ourselves to some degree. It won't be there to film if you stress him out. That's all there is to it. So, really, it's the same thing as anything. There's those two birds. I was like, guys, are you sure you don't want to give chase? And nope, they're back to biting the water. Now, I thought their heads go under the water. They eat plants underneath, but they're not doing that. They're acting real busy, and they're acting mean, actually. They're barking at me. They're angry. So let's ride the rapids upstream. on my Air 2000 jet powered air motor. Yeah, coming through the log jam in reverse here. And then we got to thread through the Eagles on the way back, of course, you know. We'll leave them alone after we're done bothering them, right? No, I do a flyby, and because they don't get rustled, I think it's pretty cool that nobody freaked out, so I keep moving on. And that to me is a positive interaction where I didn't chase them and they didn't chase me, and we encountered and then we broke away. Now this is a proper nature reality. I mean, this is like probably illegal too, like talking to dolphins, you know. You just interacted peacefully with that. You just had an understanding just now with an American eagle. You know, it's probably illegal in some mental capacity, right? Yeah, it's like we were just talking to dolphins. You just fed a dolphin. You're going to jail, dude. Don't even look at that bird. It's stressed out now. It for generations. It's gonna hate Americans, like Democrats. the the bird's gonna hate. It's gonna hate us. There it goes again. So I'm out of there. I'm like, all right, you guys are busy. I'll check in on them in about 5-6 weeks. I'm sure they'll be there. But all right, let's take this rig in for a landing. I think I didn't put the last file in, so it's gonna just end abruptly. But I do find myself, I point myself out in the forest, and then I go land in the field just behind the forest, basically where the e-bike is parked. And that's another video. I'm going to commentate on the e-bike video coming in. The other drone filmed me on the drive in. You know, it was in follow mode. It followed me in. And it kind of just showed off the little area, the little tree farm behind the houses that I went through. So look for that video. And I'm going to try and voice over that. And hopefully this uploads, or I figure out why they're just uploading so easy without any voice, that's no good. Nobody wants that. At least music or voice. We're going for landing. Okay. I thought there was another file. Yeah, the battery's at like 7 or 8. And so I'm showing off people where I'm at. Some people know where this tower is. They know where this pond is. The Christmas tree farm. So, and they have a little shelter there. Although that's Jerry's barn. The shelter's behind us. And then we fly over Uncle Mark's house here to give reference to all the family that look at my account to see where I fly. They say, there's Uncle Mark's house. Okay, I know where he's at. We used to buy Christmas trees behind his house. So the battery's sagging. It's going like 5%, 4%. Look, it's turning into a brick. I can't keep it up. So we're beelining for the e-bike so that we can find the drone. We're going to crash it next to the e-bike. Oh, look, it forgot the rest. Like I said, we crashed into the e-bike. And, all right, folks, that's all she wrote.